Hi everyone, it's Lehman with Lace Covered Skies. I'm here today with a really fun project. This is going to be my design team project for Mixed Media Minnesota, and I am using this kit right here. This is I think it's called Retro Sewing Patterns or Vintage Sewing Patterns. I will have the link below, but this is a beautiful kit that goes great with my journals, and I was really excited to use this here. Let me go ahead and show you the different pages first. So there's this one. I love this yellow. There's this one, and those little, they're dolls. They're so cute. There's this page, and this one. I love this green as well, and this one. All right, so I am using these pages to further embellish my sewing pattern tissue page. We made this in the last video. It uses up a lot of sewing pattern tissue, and it adds really nice texture to the page. So I took one of the pages that I already made and I continue to embellish. So we're gonna work on this, and let me explain what I've already done. So what I did was I took one of these pages from the kit, just exactly like the way it is when it's printed out. I just kind of cut around the edge. As you can see, it's originally very old, so I cut where the little edges wore off and everything, and I folded it in half. I also inked around the edges. Where's my scoring? I don't have it near me, which I always think I lose it, but it's always hanging around. All right. So I fold it, I ink it. So we will go ahead and ink it really quick. Except I don't know where my ink dauber, oh, it's right here. So there is already age from it being scanned in, but I printed it on white paper. So I am going to further just touch up the areas where it's white cardstock showing through. I am using frayed burlap. I'm trying to incorporate more flip outs in my journals, so using it this way was perfect for what I wanted to do. All right. So what I did was I took a piece of sewing pattern. Let me use this one. And you guys saw me fold it over. I then just took it and clamped it onto the side so that I know which side I'm working with. And then on the other side, because it's so stark white, I am going to glue a piece of this. This is wallpaper from Tailor Made Journals. I'm just going to glue that on. and then ink. And that way there's, I would use something, I could also put coffee dyed paper here, but I felt like using this, and I chose a page that is a lot more sparse in the design, so that whoever ends up with this journal can just write. It's like a writing surface. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink that as well. My desk is such a mess. I have been in, I would say, like the creative mode, and it's very unproductive for me when I'm trying to create something new. It's very unproductive for me because being creative, I think, is an unproductive process, and I think that's how it has to be, because you don't really know where you're going. You're just kind of figuring it out as you go. And I think I kind of cycle in and out. So I'll go into productive mode, and then I'll go into creative mode. And if I'm honest, being creative is really fun sometimes, most of the time, but it gives me a little bit of anxiety because I don't feel productive. But I think it's all part of it. I mean, I like to feel productive, but if I'm productive during the creative part of it, then it's not as creative. So it's a good balance that I always try to aim for. All right, so once I have that, I go to my sewing machine and I sew a line down this way. Now I choose to do zigzag. You can do whichever you like. You can even just glue it, but make sure that you're on this side if you want this to flip out, because if you do it like on the corner, this side is going to be stuck and it won't flip out. So I just make sure that I'm sewing, and when I'm sewing I make sure that it's open. So just open it up like this, make sure the edge is along the edge of the page and it folds correctly, and then just go to the sewing machine and sew one straight line down this way. Oh, and then I sew one line down this way. You don't need to, but that's what I did. So let's go ahead and go back to this. So as you can see, I sewed a line down this way and then across this way. And then I chose to take a pocket. So I have this piece and I put it right there. And I sewed all the way around so that it can be a pocket like this. And that way, this is kind of making the bottom, so that's why you didn't have to sew this. But I think I did it before I decided to put this on there. And then this becomes a big pocket, and this becomes a little pocket. And I put this little patch of fabric here because when the card gets slid in, I don't want it to like weaken the paper here. So it kind of makes it go in a little bit smoother. And it adds a good embellishment too. So something can go back here. Something can go in here. And then something can go there. And then maybe a little something extra like this. You just It has a lot of layers and a lot of different colors, and you can kind of see this peeking through. I think it looks really cool. This is fussy cut from this digital kit from Mixed Media Minnesota. And then on the inside, when it flips out like this comes out and it provides writing space there. Now for this, I am going to look around on the mess on my desk. You guys, this is like literally a disaster zone. It's like, it should be declared a disaster zone here. All right, I can't find that one piece, but there's going to be a big pocket here, but we'll leave that for later because I think it's going to turn up at some point. But let's continue on the back. So I'm going to work on this right now. I put fabric here again because this is the first tier of the pocket. And when things slip in and out, I don't want it to stress the tissue paper. So putting the fabric there, it adds interest, but it also protects the back. We made up these pieces in the last video as well. And I am going to turn this into a 3-tier pocket. So the first tier is right here. This one. And I'm going to be gluing these. I don't want to put this up like this because when I put something in the pocket, it's going to catch on it and it's going to rip it. So I'm going to turn it this way. Now I could do this side, but because this is a raw edge, that's where my predicament is. But it would look better, I think. And same thing with this. There's a raw edge here, so I don't want to put it face down like this and then be slipping things in and out and have it catching on that. So I'm going to turn it so that when it goes in the pocket, it's sliding down with it in the same direction. So I could do it that way, or I could do it this way. I think I'm going to do it this way. So what I am going to use is just tacky glue. And let's go ahead and glue these pockets down. Okay, I just made a mistake there. So we'll put that on the bottom. What I meant to do, so I glued this so that I put glue down this way and all the way across like that. What I want to do with the middle pocket is only put glue on the sides because I don't want the pocket to be that short. So putting glue like that, and then I'm gonna make it step down. All right. Now, so this pocket is gonna go deeper, which is what I want. And then this is gonna go next. So I don't know if you can really see that. Now the glue is drying, so while it's drying, let's talk about something else while it's drying, and then I'm going to show you how I fill these pockets. It's going to be filled with these pieces that I made up, and these are fussy cut from the kit. I've just really gone into fussy cutting from digital kits. I love it. And I do print this onto, I think it's 65-pound cardstock. and it works great. So what I did was I fussy cut out the image. I have a little pocket here of little fussy cuts from there. These are a little bit smaller, but I fussy cut the image and then I backed it onto pink cardstock, and then I cut it pretty close, and then I just put some fabric behind it, just layered this, let's say layered this on top. Of course this piece is a little bit small, but then I sewed around. So this is the end result. And this will be going into these pockets. And I think it looks so cool. So this is a short pocket, but it can hold something kind of tall because it has all that length or the height up there. This one looks like a short pocket, but it's really longer because we didn't put glue on the bottom. And there you have it. I think it looks really cool. I'm also going to add in, so let me show you what I've been working on that has just gone out of control. So I have a stack here of vintage fabrics that I stitched on to coffee dyed paper. And let's see, I think they're really cool. I love the look of fabric, but I want it to be useful. So that's why I put coffee dyed paper on the back so that there's writing space. And I just made up a ton of them. Just show you some of them. This is from a vintage pillowcase. This is from a vintage sheet. I love this sheet. This is from a vintage pillowcase. And you guys might remember that I have a vintage pillowcase collection video. These were already damaged pillowcases, so that's why I'm using them, because I'm trying not to use my vintage pillowcases. This is a vintage sheet. And it just feels really cool too because it's backed onto cardstock. I did put a little piece of index card in here to give it more structure. Let me flip to some that are different designs. So this is another vintage sheet. Love the pink. A floral vintage sheet. Another one here. This is probably my favorite. They just feel really cool. Let's see, there's other ones. But yeah, so these will be going in here as well. I have so many. So let's say I could put one back there. And then I started making up smaller ones. So this is one of the smaller ones. I just think it looks really cool layered up like that. And this is an even smaller one. For this one, what I did was I stitched around and then I cut really close to the stitching. But yeah, I think this kit with these sewing pattern pages goes so perfect, because this is I believe, I don't know if it's an actual sewing pattern. I don't think it's an actual, it's from a sewing pattern magazine. It's from Work Basket Pattern Service. So I think it works so well with these pattern pages. So that's how the front looks. And this is how the back looks. And I'll probably end up layering more. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this project and you saw a way that you could further embellish these plain sewing pattern tissues. I think they work really well with those pages. Again, if you're interested in this kit, I will have it linked down below. I'm going to have a few more projects using this kit. But if you liked today's video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below. And thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye everyone!